And then these are the trees for along industrial. Basically what we're doing is we're using the jacarandas in the median so that we can get that straight line with the, the purple flowers in the spring. And then in the roundabout island is the tree on the upper left, which is a tipu tree. It has a sort of a mustard colored flower in May, and those get very big, very broad. We have 5 of them in the middle of that roundabout, so that we get essentially a 5-trunked, really big tree with a really big statement in the middle.
This, and we looked at this too, as we started to say earlier, as 2 scenarios. We want a daytime scenario and we wanted a nighttime scenario because we just thought that this was a very important avenue, a gateway into Chula Vista, as the project even suggests. So the daytime is the soft green, and then the nighttime is the next one. It are the lights, and we have lights that we can go back and talk to you about that are our safety lights that are going down the center of the avenue. But these are very tall. They're 50 feet, and they're just a blue light on top. Blue is one of those kind of lights at night that just you can't really focus on it. It's a great, fabulous visual, and it's only to make a statement. It's only to say this is Palomar, and then hopefully this can kind of graphic can then continue as we upgrade further down if that ever happens.
At 50 foot tall, there's something that will be visible from the freeway, especially as you come over the bridge. They'll actually make this line that you see where they're doing this, and hopefully they'll be able to extend in the future on down towards Broadway, or even to or past it, and you get a really long line that makes that thing that points its way and says this is the way in. The other nice thing about blue, in addition to, like Jerry was saying, the fact that it catches your eye because it is so hard to focus. If you've ever seen anybody who uses this color of blue light, like for a store sign or something, you can't read it at night. They're illegible because of that, because your eye just keeps going in and out on them. But they'll compete really well with all the red and the yellow and the white that you get off of all the stores. There's something that should still be visible.
Is it going to be bright enough for pedestrian traffic during nighttime?
For pedestrians, what we have, there's a section here. So this is done, right?
Yeah.
For pedestrians, what we've done is there's 2 things. Number one, there's new poles that are going up in the center medians, both along Palomar and Industrial. On Palomar, there's 2 of them, so the 2 tall cobras along there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 along Industrial. More light along Industrial because we have the trolley drop-off area, which is over here.
Will those be blue lights also?
No, those are normal street lights to put out the light that's required. And then along Palomar, in between every set of trees, if you look at the model over here, it's probably the most telling. And I definitely invite everybody to come up and take a look at it. Just put your nose right down to it so that you're looking at it at what eye level would be. You can see where all the trees are here. In between every tree, there's a ground level light that's about this tall. It's a little, it's actually a roadway safe light. You can drive over the things. It's how sturdy they are, because we didn't want something that people would walk along and hit and break, and then they're no good. So we've got that. It's on a little concrete thing, and it shoots light across the sidewalk. So about every 10 feet along there's a pedestrian light all the way down Palomar. So if you're walking, you're going to see these blue lights above, and then this line of other lights that are shooting right down the edge of the sidewalk. Sort of like used to be in old movie theaters, where the lights that shot out the side of the chairs.
Is that going to run down Industrial also?
No, along Industrial we're relying on the median lighting to provide that light, and that's why we have it. Industrial's this has been designed more as a gateway. Industrial's been designed more with the trolley station in mind, and that's the drop-off point.
Did you say this goes all the way to Broadway?
It can eventually extend. At this point, we're only going from the frontage road to Industrial with this project.
And it can't go to Broadway.
It could go all the way.
You will explain if you do that.
That was the idea, was to do something that could be extended in the future.
Will this $2 million cover all these expenses?
Correct, just about.
Just about.
Just about.
We're not going to be taxed in any way.
Oh.
No.
Did you like to?
They don't pay enough
But if you wanted to
taxes.
contribute. Yeah.
So I think one thing that the slideshow talks really well about what the proposal is for landscaping and upgrading along Palomar. Along Industrial for the trolley, there is a new drop-off area. Right now, we were talking earlier how there's that little 4-foot space So there's that little 4-foot hole in the fence right here. That's being widened out to about 30 feet. So we're taking the fence out and making it so that it's more of a grand plaza that comes right straight across from that trolley station so that the number of people that are using that can actually get through. And then there's benches provided. We have benches along both sides of the sidewalk here where the sidewalk widens out so that you can actually sit and wait for someone. There'll be some trash containers that will be added in there as well. So there's a nice big drop off. The sidewalk, which right now ends at the ramps and steps that take you down in there, is being extended all the way down to the end. New sidewalk on both sides, new crosswalks so that you can get across here so that if you are walking from Palomar, you can come across, come back in.
Do you happen to know, will the city's maintenance crews be responsible for this, for maintaining this?
Yes, that's correct.
If you went to the last budget meeting, you saw that landscapers, all these people are being eliminated.
There's been a lot
To
of
keep
talk.
fire and police.
A lot of talk
You
in the
know,
city about that, and
yeah,
that is something
and,
that's been taken into account.
Yeah, maybe I could talk a little bit about
And
that.
we're at the point now where we only get our streets swept once a month.
Yes.
We
it's
can't even
bad.
sweep our streets. And how are we going to maintain that?
Yeah,
Oh, and all these plants too.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
maybe I could say a little bit about that. I've recently been reassigned. I worked in public works. I had the street crews working for me. And the budget has always been a challenge. And when we reviewed this project, we recognized that even though we're getting a great opportunity here with the Sandag grant, which isn't costing the citizens anything. I mean, it's basically a beautification and an exciting project to make the area look nice. But from a public works maintenance standpoint, it's like swallow hard at a time when we're losing staff. Like you say, at the last Thursday meeting, it was horrific to think of all the services in the city that have to be cut because of where the budget is. So this project, you know, we have our partners at Sandag that don't have another place to put this money. They've put their eggs in our basket here in Chula Vista. And the team's come up with this great project. So now the city's faced with, okay, well, how do we maintain it? Now, the maintenance on a facility like this can be very intensive. Of course, the ground cover, the weeding, that's going to take some time. But the trees, the cypress that are a key feature of this project, don't take a lot of maintenance. You know, that's from what I understand. You can speak to this more
No pruning.
eloquently, but it isn't the kind of place that needs a lot of trimming. It doesn't have a lot of debris that gets down on the roadway. Like some of our street trees, they are deciduous. They leave a lot of stuff behind. Now the median trees are going to probably leave some material behind, but with that much traffic, it gets blown around and blown to the side and where the sweepers can get to it. Now, you mentioned street sweeping is only once a month, so that's a citywide thing, and it's true. It's again, the resources that are provided from the tax base that we have, they do the best they can. If they had more money, they could do more. But we're going the other way on it. So that's the reality of it right now.
Well, the reality of it, a lot of us lived in the city for 30 years, and we've seen the public services deteriorate while the salaries maintain high. Things of this nature. I just wondered why they picked Palomar as